I feel like we're like low-key tailgating for a football game right now.
Literally.
It's like lazy tailgating with our iced coffees.
Oh yeah.
Going hard.
That should be one of your like things. You go tailgate and film at a tailgate.
Awesome.
In the middle of a chaos.
Rock some cornhole. Have a cornhole game going on right between us and the camera.
Yeah, you should get a wireless thing, and then nobody will.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna get one of those like wireless hookups though. Those things are really, really cool. They're just like the little console that goes on the back. Mm-hmm. Those are really neat. All right, microphone, stay there. So, all right.
All right.
We rock and roll. Boom. What's going on, everybody? Here for episode. I don't really remember the number because it's been a few weeks. Been out of the game, but Deadlifts, Dogs, and Dad Jokes, and super special guest. This is take 2. We recorded before the audio was not the best, so we decided to step it up, get some mics, and do a little better.
Talk too quiet.
Yeah.
Gotta get the mic so you can hear me.
Yes. So it's yeah. So we worked around, figured out how to do it. So how's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
You know me.
Same old, same old?
Same old.
Yeah. So today was a pretty active day for you.
Yep.
You
at this point pretty standard, but
pretty standard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Morning run.
So 13 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Supposed to be. I think it was like ended up being like 12 something, but close enough.
That's okay. Round it up. It's all. You always round up. Always round up. So.
It's not my fault. I didn't have a coffee. We talked about,
I don't know how you made it that far without a coffee. I don't think I could run 12 steps without a sip. So.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Sometimes I trick myself into thinking I don't really need the coffee.
Yeah.
Because I'll forget it and then be halfway through doing something like my run today.
Yeah.
And
it happens.
Evidence. The coffee helps.
It's a performance enhancer.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a PED. Performance enhancing drink. What? Oh, I'm here all week. I live here. That's why I'm here all week. But
I gotta go.
She's gotta go. So, but for those of you that don't know who this is my client. This is Mighty Marisa, as I like to call her. She is a hardworking lifter. She's a runner. She does some really badass stuff. She's been on the Instagram page probably 50 times now at least, probably more than that if you count the story posts, but definitely a little bit of internet fame with your lifting exploits and your athletic prowess on the running trails as well as in the weight room. So, but yeah. Let's talk about your training. We'll start off with kind of that. You were obviously training for the marathon. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Yes, so I'm training for the London Marathon this year, October 3rd. In London, assuming I can get there. Still up in the air with the travel restrictions.
Damn, Delta variant, come on.
Yeah, but so that's the goal right now. I'm running for the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. It's a mouthful, but
there we go.
It's a good cause. The multiple myeloma is like a bone marrow platelet. I don't know. It's a bone cancer that my grandmother had, so that's why I'm running for that foundation. It's a big undertaking. I was not really a runner before, so this is definitely new to me, but going well so far.
Yeah. No, I would say so as well. You're, like I said, you just hit your long run, like 12 to 13 miles, and you're on a simple program, which is great. Yeah. Simple running plans, or especially when it's your first one. Like
the first one, like low stakes. I'm not like trying to hit a certain time. It's just like
just finish,
not die.
Finish and have fun. Well, and I think
low stakes goals. I feel like always.
That's it.
I'm always just like
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's awesome. And then if you please correct me if I'm wrong, but your grandmother, it was 2011 was when she passed, right? Was it 2011?
Yeah.
So it's I think there's something kind of beautiful about it being 2021. It's a decade.
Yeah,
and you're honoring her, and it's obviously losing a family member in any way is really tough. But whenever it's a disease that hopefully there's not really a cure for it, is there? Is there? How do they treat it? What are the treatment options?
I think.
I mean, cure is a kind of a loaded term.
Yeah, there's definitely not a cure or anything. I think treatment is like chemo.
Is it okay?
Chemo radiation, but
yeah,
the standard.
Yeah,
but
quick little side note: I'm actually rocking my Perry Strong wristband. I'll give you one of these actually. It's my team leader from Strong First. He's actually just went through round 7 of 12 of his chemo treatment for colon cancer. So
All right.
he's a badass. He's actually training coaches still, like coaching
Really?
still. Oh yeah, he works out.
How badass.
He's actually rolled. Like he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's actually done, I mean, a lot less volume, but he's still going hard. So that's pretty awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I think that's really neat. You're honoring your grandmother's memory, and you're running a marathon, which is just a physical feat in itself. I mean, I think a lot of people fail to realize, like, I'm obviously a strength guy. I love kettlebells and barbells and body weight and stuff. However, a lot of coaches have said that endurance is nothing more than repeated strength. It's just displaying your strength for longer. It requires a lot of physical strength to run a marathon. Endurance is of course a factor, but your body has to physically be strong to be able to withstand that stress.
Yeah.
A lot of I can't remember what the numbers are, but it's like a certain number of steps per mile or whatever, and it's a lot. It's a lot of stress.
Definitely, yeah. It's definitely a good combination of both. Like we were talking about that recently. Before, I always said like I would never run and stuff because I didn't have the cardio down. So like I never got to the point where it became a strength thing. But now you can tell like my muscles are like, oh man, you're doing something.
Absolutely.
So and now I feel like my cardio, like my conditioning is pretty good. Like doing 12, 13 miles. It's definitely like I can feel in my legs. Like my legs are tired at the end. I'm tired, but it's not like I'm out of breath, but it's not like the cardio is the reason why I'm like, okay, I'm done.
And that's great. I mean, that's honestly, something
crazy,
when you're pushing your body, something's gonna, you're gonna have fatigue in one way or another, right? Since it's systemic fatigue. But the fact that your cardio is that good to where you're gradually adding miles, but you're not really getting winded and gassed, that's awesome. That's a testament to, again, the simplicity of the training, but also, you're focusing on your recovery. You're doing all, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but all the other stuff that factors into your performance, obviously during the run, which is cool. What's funny is when you and I first met and we did our orientation and we were talking about
day one.
Goal setting, one of the first things you told me was, I've done sports, but I've never considered myself to be very athletic.
Yeah.
And everybody that's ever seen a video of yours would never not say that you're athletic. They would say
day one, it was like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Marisa. I don't run.
Like,
we were talking about like preferences for like training styles, and I was like, I don't know, like whatever. Just like I don't like running.
Yeah.
And
so
you're like,
funny.
yeah, totally cool, got that. And here we are.
And we didn't run.
Marathon.
We've never run. We never did sprints either. I was tempted. Like, but you. I think that's one of the things, and we're going to branch off in many different directions, but that's one of the reasons why you and I have been so successful in your training and physical ventures is that while you and I work together and we have a solid plan together, we adjust it on the fly when we need to, and we make modifications, you do the stuff on your own that you need to. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're not running on your own, you're not going to be prepared for the marathon.
Yeah.
You have to run to get better at running, right?
For sure.
So that's when we were training for your physical fitness assessment, you had to run, but you did that on your own. You were doing the stretches, you were doing the other workouts in the program. Mm-hmm. So, which is really, really cool. And and we're training for Sinister. So we're got a big day coming.
Big day coming.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
So super pumped. I still think it's hilarious that you did simple and it was easy for you.
It's simple.
I would say it was simple. It was simple. I think that's the real testament to how much stronger and how much more conditioned you are.
Yeah.
Just covering both ends. So for those of you that don't know, it's actually the same test, simple and Sinister. The only thing that changes is the weights that you're using. So it's 100 single arm swings in 5 minutes, and then 10 Turkish get-ups, 1 per minute. So 10 minutes of Turkish get-ups. And for Marisa, for women, it is the 24 kilogram bell for the swings, and then the 16 kilogram bell for the get-ups. You did that, and you were literally recovered halfway through the get-ups. Maybe sooner. Maybe even sooner. Like I'm honestly annoyed because when I did simple, it destroyed me. It didn't destroy me, but it was hard.
Are you like even out of breath?
Are you even tired? You weren't even sore after. I was like, what happened? Which is great.
Well, that's good. That shows like the training is
because
effective.
but that I think that's really cool. Is not only was it easy for you, that was our first time ever testing, and you did it. It took me a couple of tries to get simple. I'm nowhere near testing for Sinister for myself. that's later down the road. So, but you've gotten really strong. We've done the kettlebell training, and we are testing on Monday. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
We'll see.
So we'll have some fun. But it's the neat thing is you do the test, and it's more or less treated like a gold medal. You do it one time, and it's a lifetime achievement. You don't have to repeat it. It's not like a qualifier or anything like that. You do it, and you'll actually, again, we'll do the email submission to Brett Jones, Director of Education at Strong First, and then you will be on the website. So your name will be on a list, which is I think it's kind of cool. You'll be acknowledged. And then one day when I have a facility, you will be on that wall for sure for that accomplishment.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty sick. But yeah, so Sinister is the 32 kilogram bell, and then for swings, and then the 24K for get-ups. So you have to do 10 get-ups. She did a triple. She did 3 Turkish get-ups in a row with the 24. So I think you're good for the get-ups.
We'll see.
I think you're good.
We'll see. After all those swings.
Yeah.
'Cause we haven't done anything like fully that was like kind of like the same as the swing part of it.
Yeah.
Especially recently, because we've been trying to like lay off the hands a little bit.
Rest in the hands,
we'll see how it goes with the grip.
I think it's going to be cool to see the transition from the heavy, because you've been swinging the 44 and the 48, so the weights you've been swinging are significantly heavier than your test weight for 2-arm, but still, I mean, 48 kilo, that's 106 pounds. I mean, that's a lot of weight. So that's just really awesome. And it's funny. You think about when you and I first started, you were deadlifting a 16K bell and it felt heavy, like you were getting out of breath, like when we first started.
Yeah.
And it was
passed out in our first session.
Sure, yeah, no, that happens to almost everybody. That's totally normal. My first session with Sean, I'd been working out for years, and I almost died. I wasn't ready for that level of conditioning.
Yeah, the kettlebell stuff is sneaky.
It is. The kettlebell stuff is sneaky, and it's funny how I think you mentioned that it's like I snuck in the cardio.
Yeah.
It's kind of sneaky cardio. It's like, so, but it definitely gets you. But it's a versatile tool. Versatile. You can get a lot of really cool stuff done with it. So, but that's one of the main things I wanted to talk with you about, and obviously share with our audience, is you underwent an insane just transformation all around. We've talked about this a million times. I jokingly relate to your highlight reel. Like you do have a highlight. I mean, I mean it. You've done some really badass stuff over the last 2 years, and there's a reason why I'm going to list everything the way I list it, and there's going to be a big point to this. So I think it's going to be fun. But what we'll do is, why don't you start? Just over the last 2 years, what have we accomplished with your training? What have you accomplished? So like physical feats.
Physical feats, like what have I?
Like performance, what have you done? What have you been able to do? There's not a test at the end, don't worry.
I'm trying to think. I don't even. I don't even remember. Yeah, because they're not even like.
I get really fired up, so I'll say it if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
You say it. All right. Okay. All right. So Marisa came to me almost 2 years ago and couldn't do one pull-up or push-up.
Oh yeah.
So those were the goals, were to be able to just get to do one and then eventually do more. So we went from 0 to 30 push-ups, which is amazing, and good push-ups, by the way. Very good push-ups. Great crisp form. Super fast, would pass any military exam out there. Marines, Army, any of them. Like any of them, you'd smoke it. Went from 0 to, I'm going to give it the half, 7.5 pull-ups. So strict, full extension to the bottom and coming up. So, did that. We hit a 303 deadlift, sumo deadlift, which was fantastic.
I think it was 305.
Was it 305?
I think it was.
305, okay. Yeah.
We talked about it before, but now I'm thinking about what plate math we were doing.
Yeah.
And then I went and found the video. I think
No, you're right. It is. Oh, yeah, why would it be 303? Why was I saying 303? I've been saying 303 for the last 3 months. No, it was.
Give me those 2 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, because I had the 2.5. That's right. I had the 2.5 plates. That's right.
Yeah.
305, excuse me. So 305 deadlift at a body weight of what, about 125?
Like what?
130, 125?
128.
Yeah.
Tested, yeah.
So we did them. It's about 2.3 times body weight, which is insane. That's incredible. So did that. I never even snatch tested you with the 12 because it was just too easy.
Yeah.
I think we started you on the 16.
Yeah.
But you passed the snatch test on the 16, and you were on your way to doing it with the 20, but your hands kind of got beat up, so we kind of rested from it. Mm-hmm. But did the 5-minute snatch test and smoked it. You would destroy a TSC. It would be It wouldn't even be.
I know, that's what we were training for, and then it got canceled.
I know. So did all those things. Your run times went down big time. I mean, you said what was the run thing? You couldn't even finish your first mile, you said? You had to walk a bit of it?
Yeah, it was a lot of... I definitely, was not running a full mile. I would definitely stop and, like, walk. So I don't even know what the time would have been for a full mile, but now we're at...
It's like 5:51?
5:50 something,
Yeah, 5:50 something. And that's not an all-out mile on the track. That was a mile within, what, a 5-mile run?
Within, yeah.
Yeah. So that was her fastest mile.
So 4 or 5 mile run.
That's amazing. And so I say all that. Now, by doing that, by getting insanely strong, working on your conditioning, working on the mobility and everything, now we can talk about the physical transformation. Mm-hmm. So you want to go into that?
Yeah, how much weight I lost.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I'm not sure what the right way to really talk about it is, because
It's hard,
I lost a lot of weight, but I've also, I'm definitely not at my lightest now because I think I have so much more muscle.
Exactly.
So it's hard. I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
I would say I lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
But now it's from the starting weight to it's probably, I don't even know what the math is now, because I've definitely put on more muscle.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, basically that's the big summary, I think, is losing 50 pounds of fat.
Yeah. And that's I wanted you to say that because I wanted that to be kind of the key piece there. So I think a lot of programs and dietary supplements and workout programs, they emphasize the weight loss aspect and get to your goal weight. And I like to shift the emphasis over to let's do that, but let's do it a more sustainable way. We're not going to crash diet. We're not going to put you on some crazy, program or anything. Let's get you as strong as humanly possible, and that will happen as a result. We never weighed. I mean, I sure you weighed yourself, obviously, but we never weighed you. I don't think. Did I have you step on the scale?
No.
Well, yeah. I try really hard not to, unless the client really wants to. Because some of my clients, I've worked with people they're at a certain level where they need to see the scale move, and I do understand that. That's there's a they've had the conversation with their doctor, and they need to see the number go down, and I do understand that, and definitely sympathize with that. But that's with you. I didn't even want to worry about, because I knew the number was going to go down if we and even come back up, right? You lost 50 pounds, and you probably gained back 10. I would say maybe 10.
Probably.
Ish. There's no telling. But
there's no way to really. I never did well, they have those tests where you can the body I don't know
fat.
What my percentage was, so I don't know how to tell that. But.
Yeah, it's just so funny. And a lot of coaches will hear this and they'll want to scold me. They're like, "Yo, you didn't track her progress or anything," and it's I just don't. I don't care as much about that stuff anymore. With the exception of certain people.
Well, because you can track progress in terms of performance, especially. I guess it depends on what your emphasis is on, or what the goal
Absolutely.
is. But we definitely I had performance.
We were performance based all the way. Yeah.
That was kind of the focus, and then with the side effect, I guess, or the added bonus of also losing weight.
Oh, of course. And let's be honest, when someone starts a fitness journey or a workout plan, they do want to lose weight. That is a priority for that person.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that isn't important, but if you come at it from a different perspective of, I'm going to get as strong as I can, I'm going to move as well as I can, take care of myself, focus on recovery, and perform a certain task, then it will come as a result. And you'll have fun. You'll be excited about hitting numbers. We were deadlift. We had deadlift and dogs Wednesdays where we were fired up about, what's Marisa hitting today?
Yep.
We're hitting 275 for a triple, and you're like, that's freaking awesome. So, but getting you, continuing to get you even stronger has only made things better. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool, because a lot of people will say, oh, well, I'm running, so I don't need to lift weights. Actually, that's going to be, I'm going to overtrain, or I don't need to lift with lower body because I'm already running. And there's just, there's still a huge misconception out there. I don't need to lift weights because if I'm a woman, I'll get bulky. That kind of stuff. So, but I do remember when you came back after the shutdown, and we came back to the gym, and I think it was Sean or Mike, maybe both of them. You walked in the gym one day, and one of them said something along the lines of, "Holy shit, Marissa's got guns now." We were doing pull-ups.
I remember I came in one day.
They were like, "Oh my god, she's got guns now."
I have a very clear outfit. I wear essentially a uniform. I always have a hat, t-shirt, And I remember one day I came in and I had like shorts and like a cutoff shirt on because it was like
You did.
hot. And so it was like, what are you doing?
Guns out. Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you went to do your pull-ups, and obviously it was even more obvious because you saw your arms working, which was obviously really exciting. So I think the pull-up, I'm most proud of your pull-ups, I would have to say overall, because it's such a hard exercise already and really hard to do well. You know, a lot of people can kind of, you know, kick their legs or, you know, use something to jump up there and do it. But a good, like, the fact that you can do like 7 to 8 strict pull-ups is pretty sick. That's pretty awesome.
Interested to see what it would be right now.
Yeah.
We haven't done them in a while. But
You've definitely got 3 or 4 in you. I mean, I think 7 or 8 might be a little bit of a stretch, but after a month or 2 of training, you'd be back. You'd be back in no time.
I'm not gonna. This week really is gonna turn into like a test.
Jump up there.
I'm not gonna do it
play
now
with
because Monday, sinister, gotta be fresh.
I will. Yeah, you gotta rest.
So I'm not gonna do it today or tomorrow, but maybe Tuesday.
I will say though, it wasn't just simple and sinister style training because I was doing the squats and presses because I was training for my certification. But when I did the TSC a couple years ago, I wasn't doing any deadlifts or pull-ups. And I hit an all-time PR on my deadlift because all I was doing was kettlebell training. And I came very close to what I previously done on pull-ups without having done pull-ups in months. So I think you'll surprise yourself. So I think you'll surprise yourself. But I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see how the test goes. We'll set the phone up. We'll record. We're just gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
So that's one definitely huge takeaway is we're very performance based. You know, I'm not measuring Marisa every single week and like checking her weight and all that kind of stuff. You know, that's not going to work for everybody. You know, I'm not saying that's the one size fits all approach, but I like that relationship to what can you do? Let's celebrate what you're capable of physically, not let's get you to a certain weight to quote unquote make you worthy. Which I'm sorry, that's what a lot of the fitness industry does. It glorifies, you know, extreme diet culture, you know, extreme, you know, workout weight loss challenges, and you know, The Biggest Loser being an obvious example of that. So, but I just think that I'm happy with what we've done, what we've been able to do, and I know we got a lot more to do, but definitely super pumped with that. And had some nagging injuries, so we had, you know, it wasn't all smooth sailing. You know, had some little issues here and there.
Yeah, I don't even remember them. I have like the memory of a fly.
That's okay.
I think like elbow. Always
Elbow?
bad elbows.
A little bit of elbow issue with the flexed arm hang. Yeah.
Yeah. Hip, but
Yep.
they're all like not like super long term or severe. They just kind of like chill for a few weeks.
Not too
and
bad.
then, bounce back.
I'll be totally honest. I was never worried about your elbows. I knew they were going to be fine. When you said I want to run the London Marathon, but also my hips started hurting, I'm like,
exact day
oh no!
that I was like, by the way, 2 things.
I was like, oh no, because like I knew the injury was okay. I knew it wasn't a major. We knew it wasn't a major injury because it wasn't painful all the time, and it was very specific. Like, you could lift, you could squat,
I can't tell you what it was.
Deadlift.
It was
you could lunge. Like there was like you could like
it
laterally
only
step.
affected running.
just running.
And like walking.
Yeah. So it was obviously the extension, but I was worried that the injury was definitely going to be okay, but I was worried you weren't going to have enough time to train and get conditioned for because you started training. Was it June or was it May or June? Or maybe it was April. Was it May?
I think it was May.
It was May, yeah. So you gave yourself a good 5, almost 6 months to train, which is great.
Yeah.
For someone like you that's in shape, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you were coming to see me at the beginning of your journey,
2 years ago, no way.
That would have been bad. That would have been like, no, you need a year. Yeah. But you've been running, obviously. We've been training with kettlebells and stuff, and you had plenty of cardio. So, but that was the one where I was like,
yeah, that one was. Well, because that one was also hard to pinpoint. Like with the elbow, it was like, okay, we know that these are the things that aggravated it kind of, and
obvious.
I have not bad elbows, but when I was little, my elbows were they would pop out of the sockets. I always had weird
they're very opinionated elbows. They're very serious elbows.
Yes. Yeah. But with the hip, there was we couldn't tell where it came from.
Yeah.
And, what the instigating thing it was.
Right.
It was just a mystery.
Yeah, I know. And it ended up being for the best, obviously, because obviously we were doing 3 days of simple and sinister training on top of your running. And in the back of my mind, we had talked about this. I said, all right, when we get a little closer to your race, we're going to back off. We're going to do 2 days a week of that, still hit the hard and heavy kettlebell work, but then body weight, accessory kind of mobility stuff on that 3rd day. The injury kind of accelerated that process, which is probably for the better, probably helped you recover faster. And we threw in obviously some of the cars, doing the controlled articular rotations and mobility. I swear that golf ball really did it too, rolling your feet out with the golf ball.
Yeah, it's interesting like how things like connect. Because you wouldn't think, I definitely wouldn't have expected like rolling the bottom of my feet.
I'm a coach and I forget how
it could
connected
be, I guess,
the system
like
is.
a coincidence, the timing, but like I think that definitely helped.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Well, especially with your like any type of soft tissue work on the feet is only going to be good for you because you're running.
Yeah.
You know, you're literally, you know, you're driving your feet into the ground repetitively.
No downside.
To propel yourself. So. But yeah, that definitely worked, and I think that's another thing is as hard as we train, Marisa trains really hard. She emphasizes and emphasizes recovery, and we are never afraid to back off when we need to back off. Like today, push-ups were just not feeling it today. You were sore, we backed off on the volume. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't that highlight reel that everybody puts on Instagram is not telling the whole story. Unless you're on the good stuff. Like if you're on the good stuff, you can go hard all the time. But even then, there's still a limit. You can't do that forever.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of
and not always. Sometimes I'm like, no, wait. When we have like a rep range, I always am like trying to go for
you go to the upper end.
Yeah.
But I will say this: you and Tim,
you gotta like sometimes back off, sometimes.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
But you're like we've actually had him on the show before. Tim Antonellis, co-founder of P4 Brewing, who I'm pumped. He'll be running that soon. Or Tessie Brewing. I'm sorry, he switched over to Tessie Brewing. But anyways, he always does that too. He always chooses the higher end of the rep range whenever Sean coaches him. So the big joke is that Tim is Sean's Marisa and you're my Tim, basically. So, but whenever you push the rep range, you still do it well. Whenever the technique breaks down, we stop.
Yeah.
We don't push to the point of failure. You max out that push-up test that you had to do, and we never. Sometimes you'll just fail accidentally, but we never intentionally said, okay, we're going to go past failure. Throw in those grinders because those are just going to get you sore, and you're not going to be able to train the next day.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I definitely learned over time doing that stuff. So. You got strong as hell. You are strong as hell, I should say. And, dropped 50 pounds, gained back some of it in muscle. Physically and mentally, you're not the same person. Like, I would say as weird as that sounds, but you know what I mean. It's definitely become more of a habit and a lifestyle for you. What were kind of the key nutritional changes that you made as far as to get you to where you're? I would say the sustainable changes that you made.
Well, like overall, I would say like I kind of started like slow, like in phases, like different things. Like by now, I'd say like I try to cook my own meals most of the time, and just kind of like eating generally healthy. And I don't drink, which is primarily I think focused on like I've like the marathon, like when I have very specific goals.
Yeah.
And alcohol like kind of interferes like
it is not a
like
performance
recovery
enhancer.
And stuff.
Yeah.
I just like have read too many like articles to be like this is a good idea while I'm training for something.
Yeah.
But in general, like aside from that, before I stopped drinking beer because I like beer, but
I do too.
Unfortunately, it did. There was a very clear result when I stopped drinking beer.
Absolutely.
It definitely helped lose weight.
It's
so yeah,
some of the emptiest calories out there.
Yeah, like we were just talking about this. I'd rather eat my calories.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't drink beer, and like I just eat like generally healthy. When I first was starting, it was like definitely more like precise and like tracking how much. Like I would weigh my food kind of. And like
you did do that.
Yeah,
okay.
For like just a period of it, just to like see like what I was eating. And then like what it added up to.
That's awesome.
And like kind of in comparison
That's great.
with like what I was doing. So then now I just kind of like sometimes depending on what it is,
sure.
I'll sometimes just because I'm curious, but generally speaking, I'll just like want to have like a portion of like a protein and like some vegetables. I think the biggest change is like I eat vegetables now. Before I like would not eat anything with like a nutritional value. It was just like carbs.
It's a game changer.
I would eat like potatoes and like chicken.
I mean, can we be honest? Carbs are kind of the best thing ever.
They are, and like
real
they're good. They're not bad for you.
Solid and liquid form, they're kind of the best thing ever.
The difference now is like I eat kind of like it's definitely not like I'm only eating to like fuel my performance, because I definitely like eat things that I like.
Oh sure.
Like there's no nutritional like.
You still enjoy what you're eating.
There's no performance enhancing like value from eating like a donut, but like I still will because they're good.
Oh sure.
But just like in with a better balance instead of like I won't have like everything that I want on one day. I'll just like
kind of sprinkle it out.
I plan better.
Yeah.
Like that's I think probably the moral of the story is like I just plan what I'm gonna eat. Like I won't eat like shit for all of my meals of the day. I'll eat like
there you go,
really healthy, and then leave dinner. I'll just kind of eat whatever I want. If we're gonna go out to dinner, I'll eat healthy during the day. Or healthy, like I'll just eat like clean.
Yeah. Well, I think that's I think you have. So those are some really good takeaways there.
A lot in there, but
well, you started. I think the key is I know I say this all the time, but you always find the best method that works with everything that we do with training and obviously now with nutrition. You initially started tracking your stuff and your food. You wanted to see what your intake actually was. You wanted to gain an awareness of your intake, and then after that, we're habitual creatures. We tend to eat the same stuff over and over again anyway. So now you're probably to the point where you can kind of eyeball it. You're like, a fistful of this is this many calories generally, this many grams of whatever, and I know what I need to again perform. I'm sure you eat more on your Saturdays when you're running because you're training a lot. I think the coolest thing about your physical transformation, from a purely just an appearance standpoint, is you've maintained what you've done, and that's the key. Is what Marissa's talking about here is the first time I saw you would have been July of last year. Is that when we came back to the gym? Is that when they reopened?
I think so.
I want to say July.
It's like summer.
We shut down in March
last year.
Yeah, shut down in March. You did every single workout I programmed for you. That's when I knew something was different. I knew it was like something like in a really good way. Because we've been training together for a few months at that point. Or a while.
Yeah.
Like 6. I'm really bad.
It was like October, I think we started.
Yeah, so we were 5 months in, and we were training twice a week. And then I think I programmed you like 3 workouts or 4, 5. Was it 5?
Because it was also like the pandemic, like being in a lockdown, having more. I was at home.
Nothing else to do.
I mean, it was a bad year for everybody, but it definitely like the silver lining was like I had time to like prepare like my meals.
Absolutely.
And I had like so much. I was like, I'm bored. I'm just gonna like go for a walk or something.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's just a good use of that time. Is a lot of people went the other way. Ate a lot, drank a lot. Alcohol sales were like through the roof during that time. Obviously, like it was insane. So I tried to think of that time as a gift. I tried to use it as a gift. I tried to read a lot, learn. I still went to the breweries and drank beer and watched a bunch of movies and BS. But I read a lot. I spent a lot of time working out as well, just because there's only so much you can do when you're stuck at home.
Yeah.
But you tracked your food initially. You found a good awareness, but you didn't obsess over it. You didn't get attached to it, which I think is really cool. I think that's a critical thing there. You're not like, okay, let me measure every single thing out, because you're not getting on stage for Miss Olympia or anything.
Yeah,
like,
not like competing in like a.
Right. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with that.
That's like your goal, then that's your goal.
Very specified goal. That's a very specified track that you have to be on in order to do that. It's really hard and it sucks. I've talked to competitors. They say you feel horrible on stage. You're smiling, but you're dead inside because you're so depleted.
Yeah.
You were obviously more active. You probably drank a lot more water too, I'm sure. Your water consumption went up. Beer, as much as I love it, it only goes one place. Let's be honest here. It literally attaches to your body.
Yep.
It's great, but especially when you like the good stuff like I do, it is very, very calorie dense.
Yeah, you like a nice heavy beer.
And I love them. Oh my God. But it's so funny. I can have like 1 or 2 and my head pounds the next day. It's pathetic. But it's good. I'm not going to do too much now. So it sounds like you were doing, so protein, you added veggies in. Mm-hmm. So by default, you were eating a little bit less of the carbs, which just really just made it less calories.
Yeah.
And you were eating more nutrient dense foods. It's not like you weren't on a keto diet or anything, obviously.
Nope.
So again, we're looking at sustainable change. You didn't get on some crazy crash diet. You didn't get on a fad diet. And what you've done, you have sustained for a year.
Yeah.
A year and some change, which is we're gonna cheers to that.
Pretty
This
good,
is just
yeah.
coffee, but with a little something
Just
in it.
coffee.
I'm just kidding.
How
Yeah.
dare you?
Iced coffee. That's the key is sustainability, and you've definitely been able to do that. And those are the main things I definitely wanted to cover with you. We're obviously doing our kettlebell training, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
We talked about your marathon.
Yes.
You see where my brain is at currently. It's all over the place. So I have not yet worked out. But what else was I going to talk about? Brain just shut off.
I'm trying to think back to our
take
one of
to
this.
take
What
one.
else did we talk about?
Yeah, take one. What was take one like? So I think we went over this, but what ultimately was the big driver to you coming to the gym? And I won't even say to see me. It was whatever trainer you got. It was totally random. I didn't see her. She go, oh, I want Marisa. She's going to be a great. It's typically you guys are assigned to us. What was the thing that made you walk into the gym?
Honestly, I don't really know. I mean, I was kind of training for very specific performance-based goals.
Yeah. That we cannot disclose yet.
To take a test, yeah, cannot disclose yet. But
in
general, I think it was very impulsive. I feel like I just needed to do something really.
I love it.
Very quickly, so I didn't really think about it, and I've always been, and I still am kind of the gym stresses me out. I never really know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but I feel like I don't. So I'm
definitely know what you're doing now.
So I was just very impulsively was went online and submitted one of those inquiry things.
Oh yeah, you see
I
the
ended
online.
up texted, yeah, and they're like, all right, come in and meet with somebody. So I don't remember who.
You got stuck with me, unfortunately.
They're like, all right, yeah, you'll meet DeMarco, and I was like, okay, and I showed up and I was like, looking for DeMarco,
yeah.
And then that's
I think you at the front little
the front
little kiosk thing. Yeah, that's funny.
But it was very just kind of jump in, because I feel get started you kind of just have to
this
overcommit.
It's so cliched, but it's so true. Getting started, it truly is the hardest part.
Because I'm very much I can make an excuse with myself, but I feel like I've done pretty well about attendance wise. When we have a session or we have a plan to meet up, I try to be
that is
I don't like to screw with other people's schedules. So I was all right, I'm gonna get somebody so that I have at least that will get me started.
You're underselling yourself, because I will say this: we've been training so I think it's October will mark 2 years. So we're coming up on our 2-year training anniversary, which is awesome. That's incredible. Sean and I are about to come up on our 3-year, and I've yet to receive anything. He forgot about our second one and our first one, but it's okay. You know how men are.
That's
terrible.
You didn't dump him? Wow.
Yeah, but what was I saying? Come on, brain. Yeah, so you're about to come up on the 2-year training anniversary, and oh my God, I totally just blanked on what I was going to say.
Attendance.
Oh, attendance, yes. So I have kept you waiting once. I think there was one time where I slept late, but I still showed up.
Yeah.
I still showed up. So technically, there's never been a time where I no-showed on you.
Yeah, no.
You've not only never no-showed on me, I've never waited on you. Because if you're running late, you've always texted me, let me know.
Yeah.
It's never been holy crap, where's Marisa? What's going on? And just about every single client I've ever trained has been like that. every other client, almost. There's a couple others that are like that. You pulled the trigger, and you really committed to the process.
Yeah.
And that is, with anything, that's the key. I think a lot of people get nervous about going to the gym because you're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of looking stupid and thinking that what you're doing is wrong. When you're with a coach, there's a different kind of dynamic, because they're kind of that social barrier buffer for you, especially someone like me that just won't shut the F up. I talk all the time, so everyone's looking at the crazy stuff I'm saying and hearing all the crazy movie references. But you surrendered to the process. And you came in, you show up, you crushed the workouts. I didn't even give you any nutrition advice. I didn't tell you to start running. I mean, you knew you had to run because
Yeah.
you had to do your test, but you just.
And I didn't, honestly, for like
Yeah.
the beginning. I like still just didn't run.
And I'm not going to lie, that's honestly probably best because, again, not to fixate on the weight, however, simple physics, you were obviously heavier back then. It's harder on your joints to do it then versus now it's much easier on your joints. You probably feel the difference.
Oh, yeah.
You probably feel a huge
Definitely.
difference. I lost 20 pounds at one point and I felt like the Flash. I ran outside and I
really
felt
had
so
knees
fast.
back then
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
50 pounds. Like I can't imagine like carrying around like 50 pounds with me.
Yeah.
And like doing anything that we do now.
It's tough. Yeah.
No wonder I couldn't do a pull-up or a push-up.
Oh yeah, no kidding. No kidding. You think about think about this now. Eventually, when we do Iron Maiden, that will basically be you'll be loading yourself
Yeah.
up to your previous weight, which is kind of unreal to think about.
That's crazy.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you got wicked strong, obviously. So, what's been this is kind of asking the same question, but in a different way. What's been the biggest mental shift for you, I would say, overall, from you showing up, like, hey, I'm looking for DeMarco, to now, like, mentally for you, like, as far as, like, identity or kind of mental focus? I'm a great interviewer, as you can see. I'm so good with my words.
I don't know. I guess like in general, I think I'm just like more confident in like the follow through. Like I feel like before I was always like, oh, I could do that, but then I would never actually like try to do it.
Yeah.
But now after like all the things that we've done, even if it's like I'm never gonna try, I know that like if I got on like a very serious like planned out like carefully crafted plan of how I would like train for something, I'm definitely more confident like I could do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like training, but then like that goes for anything else too, like outside of training. I'm just like I think generally more confident.
Absolutely.
Person I'd say is more my
That's the main one.
outside of the gym transformation.
This is definitely for another day, another conversation, but that's my favorite part of training that I probably should talk about more with people on the front end, but everyone's just so fixated on a number, a scale weight, a body fat percentage. They want to lose X number of pounds, and that's okay. If that's what gets you into the door, that's awesome. Whatever gets you there is important, but whatever keeps you there, I would argue would be even more important. But I think it's really cool when your performance and your transformation in the gym positively affects what happens outside of the gym.
Yeah.
Like you were telling me about your family, like you've become a positive influence on your family members, which is awesome. That's really cool. You know?
I like to think so.
Yeah.
We try.
No, I think that's awesome. I mean, I'm not saying the rest of your family has to train as hard as you do and run a marathon.
Yeah.
That's fine. But even if it's little things, that's really good. If you're confident, we're not really going to talk about this today. We're going to uncover all your master plans, but you've got some pretty lofty goals. You got some really cool stuff you're trying to do, and it's cool.
Yeah.
You're pushing yourself
crazy,
physically and mentally. So, and you might get me out of retirement from running, which is kind of a big deal. So I might do it. I'm like 50. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50.
I think yeah. If you're here, you're gonna do it.
The only way I would run a marathon is if you put a gun to like Nano's head.
Marathon.
If you put a gun to Nano's head and said, "You got to run or she dies." Okay, I'll run the marathon.
Yeah.
Anything less than that, hell no.
Yeah.
I could be talked into a half. I would definitely do a 5K. 5K would just be like, sure, let's go do it. But this event would be fun. This would be a fun challenge.
Yeah.
I'm going to curse you in my mind during the burpee broad jump, though.
The
burpee broad jump.
That's fine. You can curse me out loud.
I will. I actually might curse you out loud. I might curse you out loud. Like, damn it, Marissa. So, although I wonder. I guess we'll have to watch a video. I wonder if you burpee, jump up and then broad jump, or if it's straight into it's probably straight into the broad jump. I feel like that would be smoother. Because if it's jump up and then broad jump, then you're screwed. That's going to take forever.
What do you mean jump up and then broad jump?
So like a regular burpee, you come down into the push-up, you explode up, you pop up almost like you're popping up onto a surfboard, and then you jump up and down. So essentially like a squat jump. That's how you finish a burpee. Probably it's you pop up and then do the broad jump. If you jump and then jump, that's going to kill. And then I really will hit you.
I don't know, actually.
It's going to be that. It's going to be the jump and then the broad. We'll see. So that'll be That'll be fun. But yeah, if I'm in town, we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun with it. So, awesome. Is there anything else you want to talk about or anything like that? I feel like it's like that's kind of the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Sweet. Good deal. Well, you've got your fundraiser. So I'm going to put a link below for everyone to see, but we have your marathon fundraiser for the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation in honor of your grandmother. I meant to ask you this earlier, and I totally forgot. What did you call her? Did you call her grandma? Or was there like a special?
Nonna.
Nonna?
We're Italian, yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, in honor of Nonna, and so the link will be below. Please donate. We would love your support. No amount is too small. The crew and I are going to be hosting a Indian Clubs workshop in the future next month, which will be benefiting the cause. So hopefully help you out with some donation. You're welcome. Yeah. So we will do that, have some fun. So if you're local, if you're around the Boston area, we will put some information out very soon, and we'll be doing that. I'm very excited, and we got some other stuff in the works too. So we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that stuff later. So where can they find you online? Because obviously the link to fundraising is on your Instagram.
Yes, it is.
So you should follow her. She's kind of a badass. She has one whole post.
One whole post.
And it's about coffee.
But I mean, it fits. I don't. My name, I think. I don't actually know what.
Is it Marisa Brogna?
Yeah.
I will search it and put it on here so they can see it. Don't worry,
yeah.
because I don't remember. I think it's
Marisa underscore Brogna.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So the donation.
Clearly, I'm very active on there.
Very active on there. Yeah. So the donation link is in her bio, but it's also in ours. So if you go onto the Strength with Purpose page, hit the link tree. The link to the fundraiser is on there. So we would love your support, and no amount is too small. So. Awesome. Find her on Instagram. Follow her. I just keep going back to your one post. I keep checking to see if there's going to be another one, and it's you like
one of these days.
One a year.
One of these days.
One every 6 months.
I mean, I posted one at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And
you have to
got rid of all the old ones because they were so old.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
They were like 4 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So,
what are you gonna do?
I feel like you definitely have to do a marathon completion post. That's like. You have to do that.
For sure.
I will do one for you if you don't. I will be mad if you don't.
I'll start posting like for big events.
There we go. There we go. That'll be fun. So, and then when we finish our race and I'm dying, you can post a picture of me hyperventilating. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Perfect.
So that'll be excellent.
Awesome.
So
sounds good.
Strength with perspiration. That's what we'll refer to it as. So.
Love it.
Sweet. Awesome.
Right.
Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Stay strong.